here to kia koutou I tēnei wā. Hey, just I'll jump in because never know with the technology how Chrome's that restarting process. So I'll jump in for Horny and just kick us off today for our hui today. But yeah, thanks everybody for coming along. This is really a space for that we're looking to build and just connect people up and down the country who are working in spaces of change. You know, doing lots of awesome stuff. You know, alongside our rangatahi, our men, our whānau, our wahine, our pakeke, but just working in all those spaces of change. And really it's a chance to, yeah, for learning, for connection, but also kind of through this sharing as, you know, is to activate, you know, and now's not a time for doing less, now's a time for doing more. But it's about also recognizing that we need to be smarter, and the best way to be smarter is be connected to smart people. So you know, that's this sort of learning space that we've got here with the Changemakers. So thanks everybody for jumping on this week, and yeah, a real privilege to have Metai and Seumas from Te Ora Hou presenting today, just talking a little bit about their mahi that they've been doing over quite a long period of time now. And then also just yeah, talking about their journeys, you know, that they as change makers, as people doing some really awesome mahi in community, is just kind of drawing from some of their you know, some of their insights, some of their learnings as they've been doing this mahi as well. So ngami hia te kia kōrua. I think Hayley will help drive our slides today, but I might pass the rākau over to am I passing it over to Metai? Or maybe to Seumas first, who I know has got to head out shortly, but and then we can go to Metai as well. But yeah, ngami hia te kia kōrua mō tēnei wā. Thanks heaps for jumping on today and sharing your guys' experience and learnings with us. I'll head over to Seumas.
Papai, can you hear me okay?
Rawe.
O tēnā koe Kane, hone koutou mā, o te whānui o Changemakers rōpū, ngā tāne, me hea tike o koutou katoa, ko ai au, ko Seumas Fantham tōku ingoa, he uri o Ngāti Parau me whakatohia me Ngāti Italy, ki te tau tōku pāpā, ai tipu ake au ki, kai ti, te tai rāwhiti, engari anai nei e noho ana au ki konei ki te whanganui ātara. No reira mi ati kia koutou katoa. So kia ora everyone, Seumas from Te Ora Hou. Yeah, thanks for the invite. Yeah, this kōrero. I'll briefly just do a brief kōrero on Te Ora Hou, because I really think the kōrero, the awesome mahi in this space is really with Metai and the GYU whānau. So before I throw it over to Metai, a little bit about Te Ora Hou. Te Ora Hou is a kind of a youth and community development kaupapa. Really, the seeds of it kicked off in the 1970s. It's been around for a long time. My involvement in Te Ora Hou was a rangatahi growing up in Kaiti, and I got to probably find a lot of my identity and stuff through the rōpū of Te Ora Hou. Non-profit back then, and still a non-profit today, but provided a really safe place for us young tāne and wahine growing up in our teens. So learned a lot about our culture, learned a lot about whanaungatanga, and there's 5 different Te Ora Hous. So from the top, there's Whangarei Te Ora Hou, there's Gisborne Te Ora Hou, which I grew up in, there's Whangarei Te Ora Hou, there's Wellington, which is what I'm in now, and there's Christchurch Te Ora Hou. We provide a safe place for our rangatahi and whānau to connect. We provide weekly youth programs. We connect a lot of our young rangatahi leaders with each other nationally. You know, we've got programs like whakapākari, so they come together, learn from each other, learn about what difference they want to make in the world. So that's been an awesome place for our next gen. We bring together our intermediates. We have a biannual camp called Maranga Ake that we run every 2 years, and each different Te Ora Hou will take a turn at hosting that, and it's 5 days. And we have a rangatahi version of that, so 13 and older, called Tautoko. And again, it's been going for decades, and building relationships with our rangatahi. So yeah, it's awesome stuff with our rangatahi stuff. We also do community-led development. So I guess Te Ora Hou is one pillar in our communities, but we also realise that there's heaps of other rōpus that are doing amazing stuff, and we partner. We know that if anything to create change in our communities, it's not going to be done by any one individual, any one rōpu. So we connect in with some of our key partners in our community and see how we can best, how can it be us and them taking on the challenge or maximising the potential of our communities, not us working in isolation, trying to build our fortified path and working in competition. So I think Te Ora Hou's kind of gone beyond that stuff, and we realise we're interdependent along with our local partners. So the rangatahi stuff over here, the community development stuff comes from our community. And if you can go to the next slide, I just put this together last night, so it's really just grab any photo and chuck it on there. So these are probably examples of community-led development stuff. So the top one there, we've done over 12,000 hangis in our community now, and it's basically because kai is really expensive. So what we were able to do was provide, hey, let's do hangi. We know how to do hangis. We can smash them out the park. We invite our community to come in and help. We do it as low cost as possible. So for many years, it was $5 for a hangi, which were their pork and chicken and kumara and all the awesome stuff. And we try to provide that as a competitor to the Pizza Hut and the Domino's and the all the unhealthy foods that are in our community. So that happens every fortnight on a Friday. Brings our community out to come and volunteer and help. Te Ora Hou provides support for the I guess the logistics and the venue and the safety and the kai kuka maintenance and all that kind of stuff. But apart from that, community come in and connect and engage, get free hangi, but also get to hang out and connect as well. So you get up about 300 hangis a fortnight. They're now recently gone up to $7, because the reason for that is we're not trying to create charity here. We're trying to create an affordable access to kai. So basically, this pays for itself. And we just provide the mechanism for it to happen. So 12,000 hangis so far, and we don't even advertise now because those whānau's just Friday night, that's the option. On the left there, we're also a skinny jump provider, so we also realise that connection to digital is quite expensive for our communities and our whānau's. So we provide the skinny jump modems with our whānau's that are $15 a month, or you can up. Yeah, it's like prepay. So basically, you get free 15 gig even if you can't afford it. But basically, it's connecting our community to the internet benefit just using their phone, and they can just top up with prepay. And if you've got bad credit, it doesn't matter. So we've signed up over 250 of our whānau to that over the last couple of years. Just because community, they thought there was a catch to it, but the catch is there is no catch. Hence the modem will help you sign up, and also provide opportunity for our rangatahi to sign up our community and especially our elderly. And that final picture down the bottom there is a picture of a touch competition that Metai and I were involved in establishing. Reason being is sports become really expensive in our communities, so we got some of the best touch players out there. We All Blacks come from our neck of the woods, but we can't afford to continue to put them in a touch competition because it's become more about money and less about community. So rather than our community, our touch players losing out, we ran a touch competition for two years, and there was 12 teams that bought in. We tried to have kai and everything there, turned it into a bit more of a market and sports, but we think that has a really good opportunity as well. It's not running at the moment. It was quite a lot to happen. We wanted to make it similar to the hangi. We want it to run itself and to cover itself, but it got a bit taxing, so we're having a break at the moment. But those are probably just some examples of community-led initiatives that we need in our community, but we need our community to step in to also play that role. Te Ora Hou will just do what's required. We're not there to try and dominate and take the photos, and it's all about us. We know that there's a need for leadership, there's a need for some resources, there's a need for safety. and risk management, but there's also a need to hand over the mana to those that are actually, the real leaders and the real connectors in our community, which probably is a nice segue to lead me into the GYU program, which was another Metai and their crew, and I'll let him speak to this, but identified that there's a need for a safe space in our community for our tāne. Things are tough, but how do we create a safe space where you can come, you can eat, you can laugh, you can sit and listen, you can look at opportunities. So yeah, I might just hand it over to Metai, because we kind of set this up a few years back. And again, the role that Ora Hou plays is really just, what do you need? Venue, kai, uniforms, booking a field, sports, but everything else is really done by the community itself. So I might throw it over to you, Metai, to introduce yourself, and maybe you can speak to the kaupapa of GYU, You Uso.
No, keep going, Moose. Yeah, Talafalava. My name's Metai. I was born in Samoa, then family traveled here to Aotearoa. Grew up in Newtown. I was founding, me and my brothers, we started a local gang group called the FBIs, Full Blooded Islanders, here in Wellington. And till got a call from God, and then I left and found myself working at Te Ora Hou. And then with just through collaboration with Seumas, we started this community-led stuff. Yeah, and till I left, then we still carried it on. TYU, You Uso. Yes, You Uso. And we just faith-based group, faith-based. And I think that's the key why it's still running. We just kept it open for our men, a safe space for our men. Me myself, I've lost three family members to suicide, and I lost my second oldest brother to suicide, 2005. So, and my old man, he's been part of he's a big community player, in Samoa. We get told stories that my old man had 5 plantations, and he used those plantations to feed the whole village, and and stuff like that. So community work was already in the blood, in the family. But as we grow up in New Zealand, that the distractions come a long way, and then we go to a different path. But eventually, by the grace of God, pulled me back on track, and I found myself here on this side, the good side, doing helping people out instead of beating people up and everything like that. So GYU, it started at Te Ora Hou, and then we brought it to the community, and then now it's run under Double Love Ministry, and we use our faith base. Faith base. That's why you see that verse there, Ephesians 4. It talks about the battle we fight is not against flesh and bones, but it's against principalities, in the spiritual realm. And I truly believe that's talking about mental health. So we try and have an open space with our facilitators to keep the space open. That no matter how many people turn up, just keep it open. If it's one, then that's even a blessing for that one person to come and get that one-on-one time. The 2, you're good. Yeah, it's not about numbers. It's just having that space open and letting the community know that there's a space here on Friday nights. We run it on Friday nights. We used to run it 2 days a week, but I think it was just too much for some muscles, and stuff like that with work and all that. So we move it back to Friday nights, hour and a half a night. We just come and we try not be too structured. When you walk into too structured stuff, you feel fake. It feels it's been, taught and stuff. But we just want people to come in and relax, have something to eat, make a coffee. And then we just start off with 2 questions, how's your week? Share something good and something negative. And then from there, one guy can take up the whole hour. One guy can take up the whole hour, But that's all good. That's why we're there. And if people do take up longer than they should, we don't cut them off. But we got to the point where the Usos all jump in and just encourage that one brother. And then at the end, when everything finished, before they leave, our facilitators, informs them that, if we still want to talk, it's myself to do one-on-ones or our other facilitator before they go home. So we're always making time for our brothers. And it is faith-based, but it's open to everyone, anyone, whatever community to come in. But, we just stick to our values.
Next slide, please.
Yeah. Well, yeah, just slide through. And we get them involved. And we've had, we started off with the FBI family. We tried it out with the FBI boys. Yeah, and it seemed to work. So as we kept going, we had a few mobsters come through. See that big guy there on the left, on the grey. Yeah. And then we had some from the nomads jump through and the blacks. So it's open to, yeah. And we had a few people too come from the rainbow community. We just make sure, that everybody's safe. We love on everyone, but we don't go away from our values. And they're really good, appreciative of that. And that fellow there is my dad. He joined as well when my mom passed away. He was grieving a lot, and he's not used to this kind of stuff. So I had to speak to him in Samoan and let him know what this group is about. And then only then that he kind of dropped his guard, because my old man, it's a tough guy. So yeah, and that's stuff I had to relearn, it's all right, to be soft, because we were brought up, to be tough all the time, and we didn't know this language, this compassion, like, hey, it's okay, all that stuff. I had to relearn all that stuff. All I was taught was, harden up, man, don't show any weakness. But so I had to relearn that when running this group, as we were running this group, that, it is okay to not to be okay, to talk about it, and talking about it to people who we trust. Because a lot of island groups don't last long because you don't trust the facilitators, because, you open up, but then the whole community finds out. So that's why you see no islanders. It's hard for us to bring islanders into this group because of past groups, traumas that happen, the trust wasn't there. Yeah, and yeah. But it's been good, lady, and this is our annual mental health rugby league game that we hold every year against the FBI Brotherhood. And yeah, we play it to mental health awareness for our community and stuff, and especially targeting our Pacific Island and Māori brothers, out there. And we haven't won yet. We've lost all games. We've lost all our games lately, but because FBI has got a good pool with NPC rugby players and all that.
Whoa.
Can I just say,
must be paying them top dollars.
can I just jump in quickly? Because again, the Te Ora Hou role here is like booking the field, sorting kai, in terms of afterwards, and then also getting an ambulance to be there, like, because there's not as many big hits, massive hits. Some will probably, train up for a week, Metai, train up for a week, and then next minute, trying to be All Blacks out there. So these massive hits there. So for the risk element, he's like, oh no, blah blah blah's got a first aid. She's done a first aid course. I'm like, mate. Nah, so little things like that, I think Te Ora Hou help out and go, bro, if we're part of this, we're just going to make sure that everyone's going to be safe. So, yeah.
So organising, aroha mai, Kia ora, my name's Poneke. I was supposed to be the one at the beginning, but my computer started to freeze. I'm here now. And so just talking about setting up the infrastructure and all that kind of stuff, Seumas, that's the role of Te Ora Hou, and to enable a community to kind of grow these kaupapa is a really cool part.
Yeah.
And so, like, I've had this partai kind of brewing in me. What are some of the things that have helped you manage the relationship between the community-based kind of kaupapa and Te Ora Hou, which has helped enable these kaupapa to go forward, like this league tournament and all that kind of stuff?
What was the partai ehua?
How have you managed the relationship between Te Ora Hou and these community-based kaupapa? How have you managed these things so that to further enable them, enable these kaupapa to grow?
For us, it's trust. Like, I mean, Metai's been a youth worker at Te Ora Hou, so we already know each other. You know, our families are based in the same kind of community or, you know, suburbs. And you know what? Like Metai said before, the men that they can reach, I don't think many people can reach those tani, you know, and get them engaging and coming and turning up. So we know that. So actually, they're keeping our communities safer by providing those spaces for our tani. Probably some of our rangatahi, you know, there's a place for some of their dads. So we all benefit from the mahi that GYU do. I guess Te Ora Hou just, you know, and not in a disrespectful way, Metai, but you know, there is the risk management stuff in terms of you know, sometimes we can get the resources for them because groups recognize or funders recognize Te Ora Hou in our structure. So we'll just feed it through and fund hold and provide the resources to groups like GYU. So that's some of the infrastructural stuff. But trust, to answer, Hone, trust is key at the end of the day. And I don't know what your perspective is, Metai. You might have a different view.
No, I second that. Yeah, you know, it's the trust that we have between us and Te Ora Hou. And you know, like Seumas mentioned, you know, we still used to work together and stuff. But yeah, I reckon trust is the main foundation for our collaboration working well.
Nice.
You know, it pushes the funding here. We've got to make sure it's spent on what it's meant to be spent on. And yeah, we're just grateful that we still have this collaboration with Te Ora Hou. And it's going well. Hey, she.
Yeah, no, for sure, 100%.
What's our next slide?
Oh yeah, next slide. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's just them winning the shield. So we play a shield as a memorial for one of our brothers in the brotherhood that passed away. He was mentally ill.
And so, what kind of kōrero do you share with the whānau that are in this photo while you're talking about the shield, bro?
My kōrero for these brothers here at the end of every game, you know, it's okay not to be okay, you know. Stop trying to be too hard, you know, and it's all right, you know, to leave your guard down and just come and talk about it. You know, and don't turn to drugs and alcohol. It's only gonna numb their pain, but once it wears off, then they're gonna be fighting the battle again. But come sober. And that's my kōrero at the end of all our game. It's just reminding them, you know.
Well, I suppose the next kind of step from that partai is, so what kind of learnings can you take from the life of, is it Hez? What's his name? The memorial?
Cover.
What kind of learnings or what kind of things can we take from the life of Cover to help us grow ourselves or grow what we can be to further support this kaupapa that we're talking about?
I think it's always making time, you know, because a lot of us say, you know, we'll be there, but when the brothers do, and they're not going to be up front, it's learning how to read as well, you know. Like for me now, I've learned to listen to the tone their voices when they speak.
Yep.
You know, you can hear it, you know, and then we check up on them, send a message out, we start group chat.
Yep.
And we keep it open 24/7. We remind them the group chat open 24/7. Because I know when you guys go home, you guys are gonna be alone. And that's when the battle begins again. But if you ever feel isolated and this battle happening, just reach out on our messenger. And I'm sure some of our boys will be out and about and they will stop off and that's working pretty well as well. So just learning how to read and hear and listen to those tones in their voices, because we all know most of them smile and they talk happy, but yeah, always get that message in the morning or phone call in. And then we're like, oh, if I had known, but I've learned to read the body language, read the tone of their voice, how they speak. Yeah, so I've learned from cover, you know, and always be there. Make time. If you say you're gonna be there, you know. No matter what.
That kind of goes back to what you were talking about, and we've spoken earlier about the role that trust plays within the city. And so, like, I remember you talking about how hard it has been to kind of manage a Pacific Island men's group because of all of the cultural factors and all of the stigma around kōrero and having open dialogue and, you know, sitting in a circle of trust. And so what are some of the things that have helped you get past those barriers of yours?
Get past those barriers, just leave this outside. I always remind our boys, you know, leave all that culture stuff, you know, rubbish aside. You know, we're not here for that. We're here to help our brothers and to listen to our brothers. And if it's too culturally, you know, structured, then nobody's gonna come, because that's what's causing trauma for our brothers and sisters, and you know, and our youth as well. But you know, we just want to keep it simple. You know, just keep it simple and make sure, you know, brothers are there, and when they do come, make time for them instead of, it's not about us, it's about them, and it's our time with them.
Come on. Next slide, please, Ham. Ooh, here we go. Plug your competition, brother.
So this year we decided, we had a meeting in the beginning of the year before, you know, because we wanted to reach more of our brothers. And then we sort of thought, you know, too, that being, you know, for Pacific Islanders, not many people will go to other people's churches. It's just the culture thing, you know. So we thought, you know what, if they're not going to come to us, we're going to go to them. So we've decided to put a rugby team in the local rugby club here in Wellington, the X-Men.
Nice.
So we took it in there, we introduced it to the club and to the board and stuff, and then we started a team here on social grade.
Nice.
Reserve grade. Yep, and likewise too, you know, the funding support from Te Ora Hou. We managed to win all the grade, went through the whole season undefeated.
Nice.
Won 2 trophies, and then won the club trophy, and then we got a Wellington Rugby Union prize giving on Monday. So we getting another trophy for the best club team in Wellington.
Nice.
Yeah, and those were all our usos from that we reached to for TYU. We explained to them what the team is about, why we're there. Yep, and we had boys all around from Wellington, you know, coming in for Ora, Wainui, just to join the team. Some left their clubs to want to be part of the team because it was built under, you know, mental health and all that and stuff. So yeah, it was really a successful year for our boys. And yeah.
Have you spoken to anyone about the kind of effect that your team, given that it's based around these values and this kind of kaupapa, what has the feedback been like from the other clubs or the other teams that you've played against in Wellington?
First it was the coaches were like, you guys just started and you guys stole most of our players.
Yep.
And you know, I had to tell these coaches, right, because we have a purpose and there's a reason why we're here.
Mm.
And you know, our brothers have been wanting, you know, something for them in the clubs instead of just alcohol and
Yep.
you know, and that was part of the reason why we went in there too, is to reach our brothers, you know, instead of drinking after games, you know, come let's have you know, have a talk, you know, have a team talk and stuff. And we try to involve their families as well.
Yep.
And yeah, a lot of our feedback was, you know, thank you for bringing the team here. And not just from them, but from their wives and their kids. Because we told them, you know, after games, bring your wives. We want to see your wives and your kids up at the clubhouse. And when your wives say that's enough, then just go with them. No arguing.
Yep.
But yeah, we got feedback from their wives or partners that, yeah, some of the boys, you know, stop smoking, you know, or cut down on their weed intake. And they weren't drinking at the clubs anymore. They would just there eat and then they go home back with their you know, partners and husbands. And they're really grateful for the team and hoping that we could, you know, go back next year.
Nice. Is that on the cards? Are you going to be staying in the Wellington reserve grade, or are you moving up a grade, or what's happening?
They want us to move up to the reserve grade. But our boys, well, I know we're too old for that stuff.
Fair enough.
They're too old for reserve grade.
Because it sounds like, because ultimately the whānau is the very core of this kaupapa, right?
Yeah.
And so the rugby is a happy byproduct of that thing. So getting the boys, like, it doesn't have to be like it's always been. Like, you play your game, you have a shower, have a beer, and then go to the club rooms, have some more beers, and then you end up in a mess.
Yeah.
So changing that whole process. How have the boys kind of taken to that?
It was hard. It was pretty hard in the beginning. It was pretty hard the first 2 games because they weren't used to that. After the games, drink Coca-Cola. All they see is a box of Coke and a box of Sprite. And then some of them will say, "Oh, where's the studies?" Wrong team, mate. Have a Coke. Yeah. So it's just that, yeah, it was them trying to get used to it. But when they, like I said, you know, when they saw the results with them and their families and their partners and stuff, they've kind of adjusted to it and really happy, you know. And then they kept it through the whole season.
Nice. Next slide, please. There you go.
Right, we opened up a boxing gym in Newtown. So our boys, the boxing gym is called FFE Boxing, is named after my old man. But it's a safe place too for our men to come and do some boxing. Boxing is good for mental health. You know, not just for our men, but for our youth as well. So we encourage them to come and do some boxing, get some steam out on the bags. You know, and yeah, they've been turning up to it and enjoying it as well. And we're also running a community 8-week weight loss challenge.
Oh, nice.
It's also supported by Te Ora Hou, right from the beginning when we first started in 2019. This is our cycle 9. And we have 19 females that signed up and 14 male that signed up on Sunday. And we're starting it tonight. Our first training is on tonight.
So in regards to the boxing stuff, how are you kind of integrating the circle of trust, like how you would have in your group sessions? How would you integrate that kind of kōrero into a boxing space or into a, you know, active living kind of space? Yeah,
so when we come together for boxing before we start, we open up with a karakia, we open up with prayer, share verse from the Bible relating to, you know, training and mental health and stuff. And then, we also encourage them. Same thing we do at our group. There's a safe space for us. Just want to talk after training, during training. If you don't want to train, but you want to talk, let us know. So one of the facilitators can take you down for a coffee or whatever while training is on. So we're still open there. And we do have a lot of moving into Newtown. Newtown is it's like a haven for mental health, homelessness and stuff. And we have a few foot traffic that stop by, and we speak to them. I speak to them as well outside, but mental check up on them and stuff, and mental health and stuff like that. And then some of them have signed up for the gym. But yeah, we always make sure that everybody's safe. We just run it like how we run our groups after boxing. We remind them again as well after their sessions. If anyone needs to talk, we're here for them. And that's what our gym is about. Just we'll always make time for our brothers.
Come on. That's a really cool idea. And it seems relatively simple to organize. Did it play out like that? Organizing this Hou Ora challenge and the boxing gym, was it a really adding on your kaupapa to already something that already has structure? Was it relatively easy, or were there any challenges that you came up against?
It's pretty easy. There were only challenges in the beginning of starting GYU, but then everything else that's been added on is just, it's the right time to add it on, and it just comes on. Yeah.
Okay. Do we have any more slides, Hal?
So that's eventually that's how we want our men to turn out. But the end of our groups, we trying to remind them, when they find their healing, they'll end up being super action man. This is a photo of our facilitator, our main facilitator. His name is Arita Taiti. Yeah,
nice.
He's just.
I can't imagine he was too happy to take this.
Oh, he was really happy. Eh? How did you do this with me, mate?
You're contributing to the kaupapa.
I say thank you, brother. Thank you for.
Yeah, no, all good. Thank you for sharing your kaupapa, bro. And again, thank you to Seumas for bringing you along. We're going to go into a bit of Q&A. So the whānau have been leaving pātai in the chat. And so this pātai is from Dr. Alexander Stevens. Kia ora, Metai. You mentioned you have worked with the LGBT community, however, it doesn't sway from your values. What do you mean?
What I mean is, for us, as Christians, I'm just gonna be all fun, eh? Everyone be all good. It's a sin in our values, in our values, it's a sin, in our belief it's a sin. But it doesn't stop us from engaging with our brothers and in that community, because we are taught to love and to at the end of the day, we're all fighting battles and stuff. But that's what I mean, that we will still stick to our values in the word. But it doesn't mean we're gonna hate them.
Enough here, Alexander. So here's a pātai from me. What do you wish more people understood about leading change like you have in your community?
What's that?
So what do you wish more people understood about leading change in your community like you have? So if you were walking down the street and people were looking at GYU and they were wondering what it's about, how you got there, all of those kinds of things. What is it that you wish that these people knew, or what do you wish you could say to people who are wondering about GYU, about what it is to create this kind of change and how to sustain it, how to keep it going? What would you say?
Just come and see us in the protest and come and join our group, man. If
Okay. I'll rephrase it. If I was a little Pākehā lady and I was walking through Hātaitai and I saw this big islander fella and I was just like, I wonder what he's doing. I wonder what that's about. How would you explain it to me?
Oh, so I'll just tell you, bro, we're a safe space for our brothers, and we're fighting mental battles to come and be themselves and just open up and release some burdens, and lighten their loads, and then go back and start the week.
Thank you, brother. What is the journey of a change maker look like for you? What's the biggest thing that you've learned, or what's the most profound thing that you've taken from this, I'm assuming 7-year journey that you've had in collaboration with the Ora Hou and GYU? What's one of the things that has been most profound to you?
It's always be patient, be patient and never stop loving, have aroha and that's what is keeping us going, is the aroha, it's the love that we have for our brothers, and just being patient with them, because, man, it's not an easy thing to do and to lead, and to make it gets draining at times, but but I believe that love refuels everything that we go through, because it's that love, genuine love, because a lot of us just say it, but like I said before, we too much talk, not enough action, But if you allow love to to drive whatever you're trying to run in your community, it'll just keep going, it will never stop, and you won't have to try hard to try and keep it going, it'll just be naturally, and people will feel that aroha and feel that peace and that vibe. It's genuine. It's a genuine place, and it'll just keep turning up. You won't have to work too hard to try and keep it running,
Yep.
So it's all aroha, it's love.
This is a pātai from Rangi May Warren. How are wahine and tamariki able to support your brothers so they understand the journey they are on and can help continue the change within the home?
So I organized 2 wahines. They to start up a group for their wahines, because a lot of our main problem come from women. So I asked 2 of our leaders, wahine leaders, to start up a women's group. So their women's group is called GYS, Got You Sis.
Oh, yeah.
And Got You Sisters. But now they've changed their name this year to Wahine Tour.
Yep.
Yeah, because there's a mix of them now in there. So and I've spoken to these leaders to try and identify, what is causing traumas at home with families, their partners. And just, using Proverbs 31 verse to try and encourage the woman to stop stressing our men out and stuff like that. But and just to support our brothers, out there. So any of the boys' partners, when they come in and they talk about, the struggles and stuff, so we encourage them to encourage their wife or their partners to join the Wahine Tour group. It runs on the same night too, same day, but just in their own rooms and stuff. And we provide service too for the kids, for the youth as well. So all our programs are run on the same night.
Nice.
So as family,
you can come.
There's no excuses Because a lot of our people always use the excuse, I can't make it because I got to look after tamariki and all that stuff. But then we come back to and say, nah, we got a women's group, we got a youth group.
You can bring them.
Bring your family down.
That's a really cool idea, actually. What are some of the? So you mentioned that those programs for the tamariki. So what are some of the things that the tamariki do while mum and dad are in group?
So our youth, they have facilitators as well for youth. They so I've asked their leaders as well to, because our youth fight mental health battles as well, and if we can try and tackle it in the youth age group, then the hope is that it won't continue on when they become adults. Tackle it early, so when they become adults, they're free from all that. Because right now, we're trying to tackle it, but it's in the adult age, and it's kind of hard, because the trauma from thing. But if we can tackle it early, while they're in the youth age group, then the hope is they will grow up and be healed men who will heal more men.
Yep. So.
And our young kids, our intermediate kids, they just have placenta.
Aye, fair enough. I'm reminded of a quote that a dear friend of mine, Vic Tamati, constantly uses. If there be no perpetrators, there be no victims. And so that's from what I'm hearing from you. If we start early, if we put the structures in place for our kids to grow into these healthy, well-rounded people who exist in Aotearoa here or back home, wherever they're from, then we don't have to really. We put these things in place early so that when they get to adulthood, they already have an understanding of what they need to do to maintain themselves. That sounds like it sounds kind of like what you're doing at the moment.
Yeah.
Oh,
tackle it early.
Yes, total, brother. If there are any other parts, we've got another 5 minutes, and then we'll whakaoti i tā mātou huirangi tēnei rā. Sorry, keep dipping into Māori. There was a part there that I really wanted to talk about, but it's a whole other thing. Some of the other network members, some of the other members that are on the Changemakers network have come up against similar kind of problems when it comes to dealing with or organizing kaupapa like this within not just the church community, but the Pacific Island community, specifically because of some of the things that you've spoken about, like trust. There was no kind of structure yet. And so, I'm asking this question specifically for someone. What makes it worth it for you, Metai?
It's having our brothers around, Yeah, so for me, it's just, having, it's all worth it for me, still having wives, still having their husbands, sisters having their brothers, parents having their sons, around now. And when you hear of people going through stuff, and you see them around for another year, I'm like, praise God, and that's all worth it. That's for me. It's all, just want to see our brothers around for as long as we can. Yeah, nothing else.
Cowboy. I'm hoping that this clip of this video comes across a very one of my work friends here in Turanganui, he's been struggling with this whakaaro. He's been trying to stand up kaupapa like GYU, But he's just found it really, really difficult. And so been talking to him, I'm like, hey, you just got to keep going. We've got to keep going. How can I help you? How can we find other people to help? All of that kind of stuff. And so hopefully this kōrero gets to him in some way, shape or form. Anything in your, have you got anything planned for the near future aside from the things that you've spoken about already?
No. I'm just trying to run a group here at work. I work here at DCM, Downtown Community Ministry, where we house homeless people. We're fighting mental health and stuff. So just trying to work up a way to start a GYU group here for our Pacific Island and our Māori brothers that come through the space. We do have programs in place, but they're not connecting to it or they're not joining it because I always tell our bosses, it's because it's facilitated by Parangis, and they're not connecting with them. And a lot of them, when they give feedbacks, or it's like, I can't connect with them, well, we need to connect with our own people. We just struggle to connect with Pakias, stuff like that. So near future, hopefully soon we'll start it here at TCM.
Cool.
TCM, but nothing major, nothing else.
But the things that we have spoken about will continue to happen?
Oh, yeah. It's going to continue to happen, I always tell our facilitator, mate, till the wheels come off. Till the wheels come off, man.
Yeah, that's exactly the kind of whakaaro. Oh, that seems like a really good spot to end our webinar today. This is a big mihi to you, brother Metai, and Seumas as well, for sharing your kōrero on first Te Ora Hou, and then secondly GYU and the hononga between those two kaupapa and the many kaupapa that has led to, and the health and growth and support that has put around people who have been struggling with this pēhitanga, with this heavy stuff that has been happening to them. So a big shout out to you, bro, and a big mihi to everyone else who attended our webinar today. It's been a while since I've been online, so kia ora everybody. Ka whakakapi tō tātou hui karakia. No reira, huri no i tō tātou whare, tēnā koutou, kia ino i tātou. E te atua, whakatu wheratau mai ki a mātou ngā huarahi o te tika, te ora, te pono, te kaha, me te māramatanga. Mā mātou koe whakamoemitsi, e whakakorori ki tō ingoa tātou. Amine. Kia ora tātou.
Have a good day, boys.
Metai, stay on the call, please.
Oh, yeah.
We'll just have a debrief after everyone else is gone.